What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again, and got a discussion topic for you today, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And I know you guys know what that topic is because you saw the title. But before we get into that, I have one thing I want to touch on. When I was first getting into knives, flashlights, multi-tools, EDC related things, I was all about functionality. And most importantly, bang for buck. You know, if I had only $60 to spend on a knife, I wanted to buy a $60 knife with tons of functionality, best bang for buck I could possibly get. And that worked for any set of standards I wanted to use. You know, maybe I wanted a Spyderco knife and I had this amount of money and I wanted it to be this size. I would do all the research I could and find the right one. And I've kind of grown past that into aesthetics. I want to combine something I like to look at, something I like the feel of, those materials, you know, that I really enjoy, plus functionality. Because I have so many functional tools, it doesn't make sense to keep buying, you know, functional only. And a lot of functional knives aren't that cool looking. But to me, a PM2 is a perfect example of a great marriage of looks and functionality. But the same goes for multi-tools, flashlights. And this is my little micro urban survival kit that has some things I think I might need. And that freaking patch is awesome. But anyway, this just serves as a talking point of where I came from. You know, I wanted functionality. I wanted bang for buck. So with the introduction of these things, which I'll show you in just a moment, I was kind of blown away at their popularity. And what is that item? Fidget spinners. These things, I almost thought they were a joke. I'll be completely honest. I follow lots of EDC accounts on Instagram. I check a lot of EDC, you know, YouTube things going on when people do their pocket dumps and show what they've been carrying. A lot of people were carrying these, you know, these types of things. Fidget spinners, tops, you name it. Something to keep your hands busy. And they're basically grown men toys, you know, that's kind of what they are. So I was just kind of, I had no idea what the craze was about. But I didn't want to completely disregard it because I thought at some point, if they remained popular, that I'd have to check it out. And I have. And I'll tell you about the little one I got here, but I can sum it all up into one sentence. I get it. I finally get the craze. These things are awesome. They serve no functional purpose other than you wasting your time. But in a lot of scenarios where you may be waiting for something, you know, maybe you're waiting for the shuttle like I do at school. Maybe you're waiting for class to start. Maybe, you know, you're, whatever you're doing at a hospital waiting room. These things are awesome to have. And I went with this cheap one here as a kind of starting point. And when I first heard of these things, I was seeing like $100, $200 types of spinners and tops that were made out of really cool materials that I liked. Brass, copper, titanium, you know, cool steels, ceramic bearings. I mean, these things were very high quality. And just like with knives, I kind of had to make myself realize that I told myself I'd never spend more than $60 on a knife. That happened at one point in my knife collecting career. And when I saw that, you know, this custom knife factory spinner was $180 or whatever it might be, I was just like, you know, maybe there's a reason for that and maybe I'll be one of those guys one day. Now this is a 3D printed spinner. You can see here, plastic's a little rough. I got this kind of, I don't even know what color this is, light teal, super light blue, cayenne. I don't know what it is, but I think it looks awesome. And I wanted to get one of these because if I hated it, I spent $8 on it. That's all it was. And if I liked it, maybe I could evolve into something else. And I definitely think there is a market for those more expensive spinners, if I can get that sentence out. And the reason for that is you will use this more than your knife, I can almost guarantee you. Yesterday, I carried these two things, among other things, Leatherman, wallet, all that kind of thing. But these were the two things in my front right and front left pocket. Guess which one I used more? What was in my hand more? Because it is not usually socially acceptable to play with this knife in public. I can't pull this out of the restaurant, or at least you shouldn't, because people give you weird looks. You might freak somebody out. Well, you know, why do you have a knife in your hand? This, on the other hand, is a toy. Again, serves no functional purpose other than kind of wasting your time. But this does not intimidate anybody. This is not scary. In fact, this is intriguing to a lot of people. It's like, oh, what do you have in your hand there? Just a little spinner. So this was $140 for this knife. This was $8. If you swap those around and I was carrying an $8 knife that I didn't use that often, maybe for boxes, and I had a $140 spinner that was constantly in my hand, maybe that makes sense after all. That's not to say I'm going to sell all my knives and get a whole bunch of spinners, but I see what the craze is about now. I see why people want those spinners made out of really cool materials, really high levels of fit and finish, you know, cool colors. I get it now. I don't know if I'm going to buy one or not, but just the joy that I've got out of this thing is really surprising. So fidget toys, I understand it. I get it. It's a thing, and I hope it continues to be so, and I hope that the selection continues to grow. I mean, I don't know who was first. I heard Torque Bar came out, and a lot of people kind of reiterated that design within their own companies, whatever. I don't know who started it, but whoever it was, they were a freaking genius. Because, like I said, these things belong in the EDC community. They're just fun. And the spin time on this thing isn't great. I mean, it's not going to spin for 2 minutes straight. I mean, they're just kind of fun to flick around, look at. I'll go over the little aspects of this one here. We've got 3 different kind of bearing races in each of these triads, I guess you could call those. And then this is removable, the little finger placements, so you can have it more flush. Here is your bearings. I believe that these are just steel. I doubt they're ceramic, but it spins pretty decent. I mean, it's not going to stop immediately. I kind of like doing it with 2 hands so you can have a more full spin. But if you do it like this, it will not spin on the desk. So if you put these little plastic inserts, again, this is 3D printed. That's why it has that rough appearance. But you can just spin this on your desk if you work in an office like I do. So honestly, this is a discussion video. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Do you guys own these? Are you interested in them, or you just think they're kind of ridiculous like I did before? And if you do, I urge you to get your hands on one of these. There's cheap ones all over the place. I'm not saying, you know, try to get a $200 one, see if you like it, and then have to go through the effort of selling it if you don't. You know, get something that's $5, $10 and see if it's something for you. Now, if you have a super busy lifestyle, maybe this will alleviate a little bit of stress for you. Who knows? So all in all, I think these things are cool. I really do. And I want another one. Maybe another 3D printed one. Or maybe I'll go with, I saw Blade HQ had some Stedman ones made out of copper or brass or titanium. And those are, you know, $30 to $50. Maybe that'll be a next stepping stone for this kind of thing. Because honestly, I can see myself spinning this, having this in my hand, way more than a knife. Even though knives are a lot cooler. So that's it, guys, for this video. Hopefully you guys have an opinion on this, and if you don't, maybe you guys can discover something in the comments. I'd love if you guys threw some cool options out there to buy, you know, gave some experience with the ones you've had. I think that'd be great. So thanks for watching, guys, as always, and remember, have fun with your knives.